Hey writers, Mrs. Kearns here, and for today's Grounds for Thought, we are going to be crafting an I am poem. And this might be something that you've done in elementary school. I mean, this is kind of like a go to project for language arts teachers because not only does it let us get to know you, but it also helps to practice the skill of characterization, of using both indirect and direct characterization to describe the characters that we are. And so we are going to be, you can write this or type this. You're going to illustrate the page to reflect who you are. And here are some of the other expectations we have. Now that we've finished our personal narrative and it's up to me now to get them graded, this will just be a quick write, something that we do turn in for a quick writing grade. But I'm still expecting it to be neat, colorful, with correct spelling, sixth grade vocabulary. So this just means bumping up your level of vocabulary to show your sophistication as a sixth grader. So instead of saying, "Oh, I'm funny," maybe you use the word humorous or hilarious, or I'm a master jokester. I'm comedy gold. Using some other way to describe yourself that's not as simplistic as saying that you're funny. That you're detailed and descriptive, and that you use both direct and indirect characterization. And if that's kind of confusing to you, I would encourage you to check back to the vocabulary songs that I've been posting. These songs are just for your reference. They're something that we use to help us learn the terminology in language arts, and hopefully it gets it stuck in our head. But the Characters I Have Traits song from Vocabulary will give you a better understanding of direct and indirect characterization should that be confusing to you. I am going to show you a couple of examples before I turn you loose for your writing today. So let me switch screens here. All right, so what you're seeing right here is the I Am poem has a recipe to follow. And so in order to do it properly, you have to follow the structure or the recipe that's set out for you here. In the first stanza, you will notice that everything starts in a certain way. I am, and then you add two special characteristics that you have, two of your character traits. I wonder, something that you're curious about. I hear, and this could be an imaginary sound or it could be what you're hearing right now. I see, I want, I am. So here we repeat the very first line again. Then second stanza, I pretend, I feel, I touch, I worry, I cry, and we repeat the I am from the very first line again. So basically, this poem is building to be more and more have more and more depth into who you are as a person. So the top stanza is kind of superficial, like your senses, kind of like what's around you, and then it digs deeper into the kind of person you are, and then what you eventually hope for. I understand, I say, I dream, I try, I hope, and then you finish the poem with I am. So that line, that repetition is done on purpose to really drive home the point of who you are. So be considerate in what you think of as your two words that describe you. And over here is an example. I am polite and kind. I wonder about my kid's future. I hear a unicorn's cry. I see Atlantis. I want to do it all over again. I am polite and kind. I pretend I am a princess. I feel an angel's wings. I touch a summer's cloud. I worry about violence. I cry for my Graham. I am polite and kind. I understand your love for me. I say children are our future. I dream for a quiet day. I try to do my best. I hope for the success of my children. I am polite and kind. So your goal is to build a poem about yourself using this structure. All right, and so we have this example here. And then here's kind of the sheet that you can try this out. So whether you're here in class or you are at home, if you're at home, you can just do this in your notebook. But there's just one more example over here that's a little bit silly. But kind of here's the template for you to plug in your information. And so this will be our rough draft. And then for your final draft, you can type it out in whatever font you choose and whatever size you choose, or you can handwrite it if you are into creative lettering. Um, you will draw it out, write it out, and then add pictures. So if you choose clip art, that's fine, or if you're an artist and want to draw, that's fine too. But regardless of how you illustrate, illustrate does mean to have color involved. So this is a piece that will take us a couple of days to do. And if you're at home and want to send me a picture of what you've got, and we'll post it in the classroom. For the students here at school, we're going to be decorating our classroom with these to learn more about ourselves, but also to remind us of the lesson about indirect and direct characterization. As we go forward in our fiction writing, we really need to keep in mind how to use both direct and indirect characterization to help us know about our characters. And so I'll just go back to this for a quick lesson about direct and indirect. The repeated line of "I am polite and kind," that is direct characterization. The author is telling, the poet is telling us directly who they are. We don't have to wonder, we know. Now, when you come into the other parts of the poem, that you have to use it's indirect characterization, which means we have to infer based on what we know in our own lives and what we're reading here, we can make some inferences about this person. For me, I'm assuming or I'm inferring that this is a mother, that she is selfless, she cares a lot about others, she worries about the world, and um, so those are some things that none of that is said specifically or directly in here, but based on what the poet said, I'm able to infer through her use of indirect characterization some things about her. Okay, so if you need more info about direct and indirect characterization, do check out the vocabulary song, Characters I Have Traits. And happy writing. I can't wait to see what you all produce. So you have 7 minutes and 42 seconds. Your time starts now.